Jess. How are you doing?
Hey, we're here. We made it.
You were just like so quiet there for a second. You like we were just
I'm just so
we
intrigued.
were like in full on talk mode, and then you just went in like study mode on me. You're like, what is he doing?
I'm like, I need to know. I'm gonna do this one day.
You absolutely should start a podcast. It will be phenomenal.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna talk about all the shit.
And you know enough cool people that if you wanted to have other people on, I'm sure it wouldn't be.
And that's my goal. So there's two different wheelchair users, and I want to do it like split episodes where I'm the main host and then they're the co-host, and they interchange out. It's a male and a female, so it
Okay.
would like give two different perspectives.
Oh yeah, I like that. Nice, nice, nice. So how was your drive in?
Oh, the drive was incredible. All right,
How long
no,
does it take to get here? Because you're from North Carolina, right?
yeah, I live outside of Charlotte, and it took. Well, it's like 12 hours if you do it straight through.
Yeah, and then you stopped in Nashville.
Yeah, so I stopped in Nashville. It rained the whole way. It was actually my first time driving in inclement weather since my accident earlier this year, and it was I was a little terrified, white knuckling the steering wheel for sure.
Yeah.
And we made it to Nashville. Got to meet my friend's baby, which was really cool.
Oh,
She was
that's
born
rad.
during the pandemic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Pandemic baby.
yeah, she's so stinking cute. And then made it here yesterday afternoon. Got here, went straight to a CrossFit gym,
Yeah.
and got it after it, and then went back again this morning.
Yeah, you're getting the fucking work in for sure. That man, that is a long drive. Like let's just hop into this, okay? Because
It's not a long
it's
drive.
not that listen, I hate driving.
Same.
I
Yeah.
I despise it. I just like anything over like 6 hours is a really long drive to me.
That's really true. But I mean, I've drove to California and back, like from North Carolina, California.
Really?
Yeah, and to Vegas, like to Phoenix,
Oh my God.
Cape Cod, Minnesota. I went to Minnesota a couple years ago. I used to curl. That's sport on ice.
Yeah.
I was on the national developmental team.
Really?
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome. How did you get into that?
Yo, I was like, what's the fastest way to the Paralympics? And they're like, curling. I'm like, do it. And it's so, no, hear me out, hear me out. So we don't have the sweepers in wheelchairs because how are we going to push down the ice and sweep the ice, right?
Right.
So we just shoot it, and it has to make it where we want it to go.
Okay.
And it's so technical.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've curled one time actually
Really?
at a bar in Chicago. I was I guess it was maybe a few years ago. I was up there for a friend's birthday, and we were just we went to dinner for his birthday, and then we were just doing some things. I think it was fuck, I wish I could remember the name. The something Tiger. And they had curling in the back. It was the coolest thing. It was all you did was shoot. Is like you were at one end and you just shot it down to the other end. But it was so fun. I wasn't very good. I wasn't very
It's
good.
fun.
But
It's
yeah,
practice. You gotta
that's so cool.
practice.
How many people just curl?
Yo, people, a lot. It's a club.
That is so awesome.
I don't compete anymore. So I'm just on a league at
Yeah.
home, and whenever I want to pop in, I'm like, hey guys, I'm coming today.
Yeah.
And I just show up and I go curl and then I leave. And
Do you
it's
have
so fun.
do you have time to actually do it? Do you do it often?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
I don't have much time.
You have so much going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta learn how to juggle all the things, man. And it's like someone's like, you just need to focus on one thing, and I'm like, yo, I have a lot of passions, and there's no who are you to tell me that I can't go after all my passions? I spend a set amount of time on each thing, and you have to schedule yourself. Like I schedule peas in my work days. I schedule eating in my work day for real.
Yeah.
Like because I know it's gonna take time, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't lose that time in the day. Like I found out during the pandemic that I spend 2 hours at least a day, an hour and a half to 2 hours being paralyzed. So transferring to and from my chair, going to the bathroom, going up and down stairs, getting in and out of the car. That
Oh.
time adds up to 2 hours.
Right.
Uh,
Wow.
yes.
How did you come? Like, how did you add that all up?
I had nothing else to do.
You. What did you do that during 75 hard? Did it make you aware of it, or you just did that prior?
No, I did it during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot of time in the day. I feel like people probably waste more time doing less.
Right. And then it makes you so conscious of how you spend your time.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, I've been on this app for way too long. I've been holding this phone for way too long. And you realize
Yes.
you're spending all this time doing something that you could use doing something productive to get you where you want to be, move the needle a little bit.
Yeah. I find myself like scrolling. I'm like, fuck, I'm stuck in a loop. Like, cause that's all is like my mind is just searching for this thing that isn't really I'm never going to find it. Right. Like that's how the app is set up. So I'm just like, fuck, they got you. Like you're stuck in this loop. And then 3 hours later, it's just like, what the fuck did I just do with all of this time? But then sometimes I lie to myself. I'm like, oh no, you're doing something productive. Like you're trying to like, I don't know, build your social or some shit. Just the story I tell myself. Oh man. So Jess, I want to like go. I know your story, but I don't like know all of your story. And then I feel like for the listeners who may not know, so was it 2015?
Yeah.
You had an accident. Can we
hmm
just go back to the beginning? Would you mind telling me that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, January 2015, nice 60-degree day in January. You don't get that often.
Right.
What do? Get on the back of a motorcycle.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's a nice day. Let's go for a ride. Enjoy the weather.
Absolutely not
Yeah.
missing it. No, you can't waste a good day.
Yeah.
And so we went to dinner, got off the interstate, was going towards Charlotte, our normal. We rode it a million times. It was crazy. And we left the traffic light, and this SUV was coming in hot. Like, she wasn't slowing down. I'm like, holy shit, she's not slowing down. So I'm like hitting him, and he's not slowing down. I'm like, shit, shit, shit. And like, I just held on as tight as I could, and I just tucked my head into the back of him. And woke up a week later in the hospital.
Oh shit. So she was coming from behind?
No, she was making a U-turn in front of us.
She's making a U-turn in front of you, and then
She was just coming in hot, though. She was just
yeah.
like, she came in that U-turn, and she never stopped or slowed down. And so I was like, well, crap.
Yeah. Whoa. And you just braced you a week later.
Yeah, so I flew over her SUV.
Mm-hmm.
He went through, broke his leg. I went over, broke my back in 2 places. My ribs punctured my lungs, nicked my spinal cord. I have a traumatic brain injury, and I coded twice and had to be resuscitated.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of trauma.
So I wasn't stable for the first 2 days in the hospital. I was intubated. They had to do surgery 2 days later, wait for me to stabilize a little bit physically. Then I woke up like 3 days after that. Really, that's when I start remembering what was going on. They thought I was getting better, so they moved me to a progressive unit. The next morning, my oxygen drops. I have to get emergency bronched where they shove the tube down your throat. I'm awake. It was the worst experience
Oh
ever.
my goodness. Yeah, I can only imagine what that like feels like.
So then you're in this thing though, and it's like, you know the Saw movies where he has that jaw thing that pulls their mouth open?
Yeah.
That's what you look like. Like it's like your mouth is pulled open, you have this tube going down your throat, can't talk.
Yeah.
And I had that for 4 days. I was awake, conscious, like
Like what's going through your
thing down my throat.
Yeah, like what are you thinking during that time?
Yo, I was like, you really, I was terrified. I'm like, what the hell is my future gonna be? How am I gonna do this?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on right now?
Right. It's a lot to process at one time.
So much. And then they kept trying to talk me into getting trached. I'm like, no, I don't want a hole in my neck. I don't want a
What's
scar.
the purpose of getting trached? Like, why would they want you to get trached?
So had a lot of fluid build up in my lungs,
Okay.
and I wasn't able to breathe. I had because my lungs were punctured and collapsed. So I I had to the trach. You can like shove a suction down there and suck things out. I loved it. I did it to myself. The nurses were blown away. They came in and I'm just like,
You like all the gross stuff.
oh yeah. I was a dental assistant before I was injured, of course.
Oh, okay.
All makes sense now.
Yes, it does. Oh, wow. So they wanted you to get trach, and you're like, no.
No, I didn't want the scar. Yeah. So then I get the tube out of my throat. I had it for 4 days. Get that out. My doctor comes in, still don't want the trach. He's like, all right, she's going to suction you. I said to him, you better fucking numb me. And he looks back at me and he goes, oh, we'll fucking numb you. And so they got this numbing, and it's crazy because the girl or the woman that was doing it, I was in college with her. We were in the same college class.
Oh, wow.
That semester.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be interesting from her perspective.
It's full circle, man. The world
Yeah.
just works that way.
It really does.
So she shoved this tube up my nose and like down into my throat to clear everything out, and it was suctioning. There's no pain. Like this tube going, it literally like went to my brain.
Into
it's like
your
getting
brain.
a COVID test.
Yeah.
It goes to your brain, and then it went all the way back.
Oh, my goodness.
And
yeah.
I got that 5 times in one
times.
day. In like a 12 hours in her shift. I got that 5 times. And I was like, next morning, Fish came in. He's like, all right, how we looking? You gonna do that trach now? I was like, please fucking trach me now. Like, I need it. And so then I ended up getting it.
Oh, so you're ready for it. So you were just, so what, 5 days you put it off, and you're just like, all right, we're going to do this thing.
Yeah, so we're at almost 3 weeks in the hospital by this
At
point.
that point.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm ready to go to rehab. I'm ready to learn how to be paralyzed and like
Yeah.
how to get out of here.
Yeah, take the next step.
Right.
Yeah. Whoa, man. So what You have a spinal cord injury, right?
Yeah.
Where at exactly?
So it's T4, which is the middle of
T4,
your
your thoracic
chest.
4. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate. I started regaining control when changed my mental and physical diet, started working out.
Yeah, I saw that you got sunburn the other
Oh my
day.
gosh, and I felt it.
Yeah,
It
how
was
fucking
so
how
warm.
rad is that?
It was sick. It
I'm
was so sick.
like it's like you're like you're happy about feeling pain, but it's
Yo,
like in the best way.
give it to me.
Yeah, like what made that turn for you? Like to where you started seeing like those gains physically like with your legs.
Definitely changing my diet. Um, Making better choices, just whole foods. I found out as I was cutting out different foods, I cut out dairy first, and I found out that was a big source of my nerve pain.
Mm,
So then I found out processed sugar, also a big source of my nerve pain. A lot of bread really causes constipation. So, like, I don't eat a lot of bread. It's like you have to be willing to try different things to figure out what's going to work for you and what's not. So, I switched to the whole food diet and I
right.
just started regaining. I started working out more regularly. It was like 3, 4 times a week. And then I really started working on my mental diet. So I started meditating. Then I would start reading personal development content, really consuming the content, trying to understand it, and then addressing things about myself I didn't like. And it's funny because I'm a psychology major, so a lot of my electives in my associate's degree are psychology classes. And I learned so much, like developmental psychology. It made me realize so much about why I was the way I was and how I could change it.
Mm,
Because once you understand it, you're able to change it. There's no reason you can't. Because it's like, okay,
right.
this is why, this is how I can do things different.
Right. That's so important. Like, we all have the ability to like make a decision and like act on that. Like the mind is so powerful. It really all stems from the mind.
Yes.
I'm such a big believer in just like you, the ability of humans to like accomplish damn near anything that you decide. You can build and live the life that you want to live, all with just like making a mental like switch and deciding and just like whatever it is that you want to do, like you can truly like accomplish it like through just mental fortitude and just putting in the work.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, it is. That's so true. And like people just don't realize your strongest muscle in your body is your brain. That is
Yes.
the single strongest muscle. It doesn't matter how much you go to the gym, how much you can lift, whatever. Your brain is the strongest muscle, and we do not train it enough. We do not use it to its full capacity enough. And there's just so much more
Yeah.
that we could do as human beings. And it's just, it blows my mind that it took me getting paralyzed and going through this traumatic event to realize that.
Right. Well, I mean, how much time did you spend just like feeling sorry for yourself?
Oh, it was never feeling, I wouldn't call it feeling sorry for myself. I mean, frustrated.
Frustrated with the
Yeah,
situation, or but maybe a better question would be is like what emotions did you work through like in the beginning? Like how are you feeling?
so much anger. I was so mad. And then it's crazy because the day before my accident, I was actually saved. I was at my friend's grandma's funeral, and I just felt this calmness come over my body as the pastor was speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it literally washed from my head to my toes. And I just knew everything was going to be okay. I didn't know what, but I knew it would.
You just
So,
felt that peace right there.
right. And then I get paralyzed the next day. And so,
Whoa.
one thing that happened was when I woke up at one point, I told my mom, I said, yeah, Grandma Boyce just told me it's not my time. And she said, Jesse May, you can't come with me. I can't go with you, but you have things to do and people get back to you. I
Oh
woke
wow.
up, told my mom that. She's like, John, she died. And that's my dad. And he's like, you're crazy, Jackie, you're crazy. And my dad got my medical records to submit to my supplement insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And he was reading over them and he found the coded.
Right.
And my mom said he came in, he's like, she did die. You were right. Holy
Oh,
crap.
holy cow.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Somewhat,
Yeah.
yeah. I just remember seeing my grandma. She's just beautiful. But she reminds me of my mom, but taller.
Yeah. Wow. That's quite the experience.
Yo, my faith. So I fought it. I was like, God, why'd you do this to me? Like, why would you save me and then do this to me? I didn't understand. And
Yeah.
now, like, the perspective has shifted so much because I see him working in my life. I'm allowing him to work in my life rather
Yeah.
than fighting it and saying, why me? Why me? I'm like, show me. And it's beautiful what it's manifested into. I mean, he's given me so much opportunity and he's really taught me
Yeah.
acceptance and how to accept yourself for yourself rather than what everyone wants you to be or who you think you should be.
Right. That's such a freeing feeling when you just let go of all the perceptions and just accept yourself for who
Yes.
you are, and just like what you want to do.
Exactly. People don't realize that they let other people run their life so much from this idea of they have to be this certain way or they have to look this way or they have to act this way, dress this way.
Yes.
And it's like, yo, what happened to being an individual?
Yeah.
Stop trying to turn that off.
And at the end of the day, like nobody really cares. Like, and that's not like in a bad way.
No, but they don't.
They don't. It's like you are living your life and they're living their life. It's like everybody's fighting some struggle that you don't know anything about. Everybody's dealing with their own thing. Everybody's working towards a goal. Like everybody has their own life, right? You know, at the end of the day, like you're the supporting role in like somebody else's like main story, but vice versa, there to you as well, right? So it's
Right.
like if you're sitting there telling yourself the story of how you should act based off this other person's like story that they're living, it's just like you're just gonna be so miserable that way.
And that's the way people are functioning these days.
Yes.
It's like there's so many clones, so many. I want to be this person. Like, no, I'm Jesi fucking Stracham, and that's who I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
Like me or not. It's crazy that people really expect every single person to like them. There's 7 billion people in the world, over 7 billion people.
So many.
How do you expect every single one of them? Do you like everyone you come in contact with? No.
Nope.
So how can you expect everyone to like you back? Like it just blows my mind the perception that's okay. Society says it's okay to think this way.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. It's like,
For real.
we need mantras again, like as we had as kids.
Yeah, for real. Like just it, man, you can't. You just you'll get paralyzed. You know what I mean? Like I remember the first time like so when I got my forearm tattooed, it was I was like working in an office, and so like in my mind, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like you shouldn't get tattoos that are like below like a certain point because it's just not professional. And then I did it and I just felt so free. I'm just like, you know what? Like that was like a first step for me. I was like, you know what? Like fuck these societal rules and like what they tell you should do. You know what I mean? It's just like, and like that was just like the first step for me. And then from there, like I had a 9 to 5 at this corporate place for 5.5 years, and it wasn't a very enjoyable job. Most of the time, I felt like I wasn't being who I was. I was just like putting on this professional thing and just to make money. And then whenever I got off work, I could be myself. I could go pursue my goals. At the time I was fighting, so I was like, oh, I can go to the gym. Like that's where I'm actually at. Like that's who I am. And like you're miserable living that way all day. And then I finally got to this point to where they actually like hit me with a random drug test. And it's like, all right, well, my number's up. So I fucking got fired from that job. And it was one of the things that was like it was super devastating. But then I realized like I wasn't happy there, and it happened for me. It was like one of these things that happened
Right.
for me, right? And then it was very freeing. I was like, you know what? From now on, like I'm just gonna be authentically myself.
Yes, yes. And too many people want to hide behind that idea of what other people think they should be. So, like, when I first got paralyzed, I spent the first year trying to walk again because everyone's like, well, are you getting anything back? Are you recovering?
Right.
Like, that's how people, when I interact with people, that's the first question I always got asked. And it was just like, no,
Yeah.
still paralyzed. It's not changing.
They just put their measure of success on you.
Right, and it's just so it's just really discouraging, and
Right.
you can allow it to just discourage you from living your life. So I did. I put on 30 pounds. I was 160 at my heaviest. Um, I ate unhealthy. I drank all the time. I always had infections. I was in and out of the hospital. It was just I didn't take care of myself at all, and I thought that's how a wheelchair user lives.
Oh, really?
Because I mean, I can't go to the gym. I can't eat good. It doesn't matter. I'm
Nothing matters
paralyzed.
anymore.
Yeah. And it's just you go through this period of where nothing matters. And then when you start caring, you're like, okay, these things matter. You need to make better food choices. And honestly, when I met my best friend and her husband, he has Lyme disease. So he has to watch what he eats.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who taught me like some things could be flaring certain things up for me. And at that time, I had quit drinking anyways, and so I was like, all right, let's start testing foods. And
Yeah.
I embraced it because I saw how beneficial it was for his life. And I think it's when we surround people, surround ourselves with people that are where we want to be,
Right.
it makes you just want to be that better person and
Right.
commit to it.
Right. That's so important to have those influences,
Yes,
just those positive people around you. Like you draw from that energy and it helps you be better, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
What is it? You are the five people that you hang out around the
Yeah, like the
most.
sum of the five people.
Yeah,
That's so true.
it's so true.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I need to like keep leveling.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing because like the benefit of like this podcast is I get to meet like really fucking awesome people all the time, and it's like as I'm talking to some of these people, I'm like, man, you're doing so many like cool fucking things that I want to do, and it's super motivating. But then it's also like this other thing is just like, oh fuck, it's like I have a lot to do. Like I gotta get the fucking work even harder because man, there's just so many awesome people doing so many cool things, and it's when you can connect with those people, man, it just levels you up big time.
It does because it makes you realize that you can do it.
Yeah, like what else is actually out there?
You're like, oh, I'm performing in the little leagues. Let's go to
Yeah,
the big leagues right now.
yeah. You're like, oh man, I thought I was doing really good, and you're like, oh, you're doing like 10 more things than me in the day. It's like shit. I need to work on my time management.
Like I need to do better.
Yeah, for sure. Dang. But yeah, so oh fuck, Jess, I lost my train of thought. It's because we started smoking is what it is. Can I light this?
Yeah,
You
go
want
ahead.
smoke? All right, cool. Let me smoke.
You know, that's one thing that should really just be federally legal.
It
It
really
blows my
should.
mind.
How much does cannabis help you?
Oh my gosh, so much. I use that. So what I'll do is I'll use CBD
Mm-hmm.
and then I smoke a little bit and then I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's like I have no pain, I have no anything. So like especially before bed, that's the best time because I'm like I have trouble sleeping sometimes and I need something to knock me out. And it's just like it's crazy that there's such a stigma around a plant. But you have these manufactured drugs that are literally killing people that like so the first person that visited me when I got out of the hospital, his name was Colton.
Mm-hmm.
And he first got addicted to pain pills and then he OD'd later. And the people let him die. They didn't call the ambulance soon enough. And I'm like how can people sleep at night knowing that this is what it leads to? And I think that's the most frustrating thing to me is that so many people are just selfish rather than caring and having compassion for their fellow human. Like we have to take care of each other. And too often people are just like, "Oh, it's all for me, all for none."
Yeah, the idea that we can just lock people up over a plant is crazy. It's crazy. So I remember what the hell we were talking about. We were talking about like what we put in our body. I got distracted because I started talking about fucking the people around us, but cannabis and what we put in our body, like it. This plant is so powerful, and the things that we consume like completely dictate like how we interact with this world. So whether it's like cannabis or whether it's like the food that we're eating, you know what I mean? It's like it always amazes me how often or how easy it is to like to get used to like living in like pain or like
Yes.
living in a shitty state and just ignoring the things that you're doing. Like you ignore the fact that you're not drinking enough water, or you ignore the fact that you're like not eating well, or you're not getting enough sleep, right? You're just like you're not giving your body the things that it needs to be optimal. And
Right.
so many people like will just they'll start turning to pharmaceuticals or just different quick fixes as opposed to like looking at the actual root of the problem.
So, something that really affects me is if I don't stand enough, I get nerve pain in my shoulder and then my legs and butt really hurt.
Yeah.
So I have a standing frame at home that I get in and I work from. I'm good.
Okay.
So I literally just stand up and am held up by this machine. And if I don't get in that for like an hour a day, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that like that pain is not normal. There is a reason behind it.
Right.
And we just want to continue to mask the problem, mask the problem. Like, for example, my dad has diabetes, type 2. And he just has put on so much weight and he eats like shit. But he wants to give me a hard time when I'm in the kitchen cooking something good. And I'm like, is that your insecurity or what, dude? But like, dude, I'm done. You're not going to shame me for wanting to be better and take care of my body and have longevity and be able to function.
Yeah. I have a lot of beef with my mom in that
Yo,
regard.
you feel that.
Oh my goodness, like I love that woman to death, and I think what frustrates me is that when I love people, like I want you to just be around, and I just want you to be healthy, and also like I always say, like you don't know how good you can feel until you feel it.
Right.
Like you just don't know because the body is humans are so awesome in that the body is so adaptive that it'll figure out a way to like work in almost any kind of condition. You know what I mean? It's like you're not giving people can live off of soda, for example. Like
It's terrifying. High fructose corn syrup.
you need water, but people are just drinking soda.
And they don't drink any water. And I don't like the way it tastes. It doesn't even taste. What do you
Like what
mean?
do you? I love it. It's so refreshing.
It's so, especially like ice cold water in the middle of a hot summer day. Like
Right,
nothing sounds better than
right.
that.
But the body is somehow functioning, right? But they don't know how shitty they're feeling.
Yo, my favorite is when this is gonna sound so bad. I'm gonna get canceled. Overweight people tell me that I need to get the COVID vaccine, and I'm like, I understand. I understand. Like, I'm like, yo, if you've seen my life, I'm authentic in my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Rarely do I had pizza for the first time in 6 months, like the other day when I went to my friends in Nashville. Like, I don't eat crap. I don't eat processed anything. I
Right.
cook almost every night. Like,
Yeah.
I'm authentic in that because I know how good it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, live a day in my shoes. Go to the gym and run a little bit. Like, be active. Just get activity, eat well, feel your body right. Instead of getting all this junk food. Like, my favorite thing is being at the grocery store and looking at what other people got in their cart and judging. I'm so judgy. I'm like, yo, you got
I
Swiss
do.
rolls, and like that's my,
I do
you
that
know.
too. I in my like in my head, I'm like, "Ah, I bet this cashier's proud of me. All this nice stuff I'm buying. But yeah, for real, like just eat real food. Like
If we
that's
stop
it.
consuming the junk,
Yeah,
they won't have such a monopoly in good food.
yeah,
The prices will eventually go down. You just gotta. Enough of us have to commit to
yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know. And it's like those middle shelves are filled because you guys keep buying the shit.
Mhm.
It's like they don't care about your health.
Yeah.
You think these food manufacturers give a shit?
No,
No.
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 Most of the American diet is corn.
It's so disgusting.
It's just corn in a million different forms. Yeah. So now that you made that switch from like eating all that from to like the standard American diet to eating more real whole foods, um, do you feel like immediate difference if you do eat maybe like bread or like a more high sugar
So
item
yeah,
or something? Like, do you feel that feedback pretty quick?
I had ice cream for the first time since last winter. I was like, yeah, look, I got up 75 hard and like, I'm like,
You went all in.
I didn't go all in, no, because I didn't want to feel like shit. But like, I did once a week. I've had like a snack, and
Yeah.
I regret it every single time. Yo,
Yeah.
the ice cream was the icing on the cake. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want any more. I'm good
Yeah.
because I start getting this. So initially I had no sensation from here down, from like the middle of my chest down.
Okay.
So right under my left rib where I had chest tubes, I get this like stabbing every single time. And I mean, I
Really?
had ice cream. It was dairy and sugar. Like, what the hell did I expect? And that was it. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on it. And that like, it solved it. And that's when I was like, damn, I'm evolving. Like,
Hmm.
I don't even want to mess with it anymore. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, why? Why am I going to subject myself to pain for a instant gratification? I'm good.
Right. Yeah. Just like this pleasure.
Right.
Yeah. This.
And so I started, anytime I want something sweet, I just use honey.
Oh, that's a good move.
Local honey, because I'm
Yeah.
trying to get rid of my allergies too. So I'll
Yeah.
have like a take my serving of honey,
Hmm.
and that's my sweet for the day. Like, we have to be willing to adapt
Yeah.
and find other things and be willing to try things. I've tried vegetables I never thought I'd like. I've tried recipes. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like this, and I love it.
It's an experiment.
Right.
There's
It's
no.
all life is.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
No, we're all just out here blind guessing, you
Yeah, we're
know?
all here just trying to figure it out for real. So I like growing up, I used to have terrible seasonal allergies, like the worst. They almost came out of nowhere. It was really weird, but just like one year, it was so bad I was rubbing my eye terribly. I was probably in like sixth grade. I got like pink eye. It was just a very bad. It was a bad year, but probably from I don't know from the time I was like 12 up into I don't know. I'd probably say like 23 or so. I the worst seasonal allergies. And then I changed the way I eat. Like I started eating more real food, cut out the processed foods, eating more organic. And I've essentially like cured myself of seasonal allergies. Like some days will hit me, like the other day, like there's just so much pollen I can only do so
Yo,
much. Like it
yes.
really messed me up. But then like I had a good night's sleep, and then like the next day I was like just a little bit congested, and then the next day I was totally fine. So it's now to the point to where like seasonal allergies for me are like 3 or maybe 4 days tops.
Do y'all get pollen like we get pollen though? Like we get pollen to where my black car was green.
Green. I
Green.
don't know if we
I
get
don't
that
know if
bad.
I might have a picture I'll show you later, but
We have a
literally,
lot of stuff. Yeah, there's like it's like a there's definitely like a thin layer of like yellow everywhere.
no, it's like solid green.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
It's so bad.
I lived in San Antonio for a year, and it was there's terrible pollen down there.
Really.
It was awful. It was like they had it on the news. They were talking about how bad the pollen was, and somebody was like hitting a tree, and it was just like this white cloud of pollen.
It's probably because it's so dry.
It was, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, no, allergies used to fuck me up. But I credit like just eating better food to that change in my life. And it actually happened the same thing for my best friend. Like he did the same thing and kind of the same result.
Dang.
So it was just amazing to kind of just to see like there's a direct like response like with what you eat and how you
It's
feel.
it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
when I changed my diet physically, mentally, and I really started focusing on me and the things I wanted to change,
Yeah.
that's when I started recovering.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying I mean, I feel like I'm gonna at least be able to stand, walk. Like my goal is to stand so I can pull up my pants. Like let's make my life a little bit easier, okay? But
That makes sense.
but I never expected to get core strength back. Like to be able to put my hair up and not fall over side to side, to be able to catch myself, to be able to lift something off the counter and put it on my lap without falling forward. You know, it's the smallest things. I don't have to lean against the bathroom wall to wash my hair anymore. I don't have to hold on to the counter to brush my teeth. Like, getting my core strength back has just made my life a little bit easier. So what if I could be able to stand, bro? Like to pull my pants up and not have to rock back and forth the way I have to.
That'll just change life.
Convenience. That would save me a solid 30 minutes in the day.
What can you do with that 30 minutes?
Yo, I could read a book. I could write a book. You know, I could do things. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I need that 30 minutes.
Right.
So here I am, just dedicating.
Yeah, I'm fuck. That's not motivating. I don't know what is. Shit. So when did you start making that turn as far as like you're gonna start focusing on this? Like how far into like after the accident?
I'm not focusing on really like walking or anything or recovering, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like I just want to be as fit as possible.
Yeah.
So I
Or,
really
or when did your fit journey begin? I guess is the
it
best.
started in like 2017.
Okay.
But it really I've literally immersed myself in it since January. I
Okay.
mean, when I started 75 hard, I'm like, all right,
That
this is
was the
do or
beginning.
die time. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. Dang. So when did we meet? Where
October.
was it October?
No, September.
September?
Yeah.
Dang. So you started when did you start 75 hard? I'm just trying to create a timeline in my mind.
I started it in January. On
You started in
4th.
January and then you finished. So then that would
I
have
failed at day 34.
So
So
that
then
would
I started over again, like February 11th or
February
something.
11th. Yeah. So then like March, April. So you probably finished in May,
I finished April 24th.
April 24th.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then by that time that I saw you, what's that like 6 months after you had finished? So essentially after you've done 75 hard, like you've just been on like rocket fuel.
Yo.
Like
Yo,
'cause,
understatement.
yeah, like I'm just trying to like I'm just like trying to put this in my mind. It's like because like as I learn your story and like I kind of hear like where you were like because I only know you from like where I met you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like from what I can tell, like you've just made leaps and bounds
Yeah.
of fucking progress.
Understatement.
Like I don't even like I can't even I'm having a hard time even like wrapping my mind around like you know like
I'm a
'cause
different person, man. It's
Yeah.
insane. Like my confidence level is through the roof. It's insane. Like and I truly like I love the people that fuck with me, but at the same time, if you feel some type of way, it's okay. It's cool. Like we don't have to be friends, and that's people don't realize. Like I don't need you to like me, and I'm not out here trying to do that. I'm just trying to share my life and get a little better every day, man. That's what it's about. 1% better every single day. And
Yeah.
I'm doing it and I'm true to it. And for the first time in my life, I'm authentic, like 100% authentically me. And I'm true to that. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. And it's cool if you leave it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like, less drama. I just don't like drama. I'm like, yo, we're allowed to be an individual. We're allowed to be who we want to be. And we don't have to all be this cookie cutter. And you don't have to like me.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
Like, and I think too many people get caught up in wanting to be liked.
Right. I'm always just baffled when people get so stuck on the negative.
Yeah.
It's like somebody says something or post. It's like, just why are you so focused on that? Like, that is just a distraction. You
Yeah.
can't please everybody. Like, why would you try? Why would you want to?
Right. It's like,
Some people are just not gonna.
they can't. They can't. It's like, I personally, I'm not getting the vaccine. I want to wait. I want to wait and make sure that nothing long term, you know?
Yeah.
It's not even the initial side effects for me. Like, I'm not even worried about that. It's that, what is it going to do long term? Is it going to affect my recovery? Like, I've worked really hard to get to where I'm at. I don't want
Right.
anything to mess with that. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm good. Like,
That makes sense.
I just want to wait a little bit. And then if it's all good, then, I'll reconsider. But at this time, no, thank you.
Right.
And someone just kept going, well, the science says. And I'm like, that's only short-term science. You can't tell me if it's going to affect me 5 to 10 years from now. We're going to be one of the commercials, it's like, if you or a loved one suffered from the COVID-19 vaccine.
People act like that doesn't happen
Yo, I mean, we see it all the time.
all the time.
All the time. A bladder spasm medicine that was constantly prescribed, oxybutynin. It was linked to dementia.
Really? Holy cow.
What? And I saw a commercial for it and I was like, holy shit. I sent the picture of the commercial to my best friend that uses it. I'm like, yo, she's like, oh yeah, that's a side effect. It's insane. And like, it's something that we need so we don't, because
Yeah.
we have a spastic bladder, so we need the bladder spasm medicine so it doesn't spasm, so we don't pee ourselves. And it's like, it's something that we need, but it has such negative side effects, and you're like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to end up on one of them commercials.
Mm-mm. I don't even like the term side effects. They're just effects.
Yo, yeah. Yeah,
These,
that's true.
these are just effects of this whatever compound. Like, maybe you experience them, maybe you don't. There's just a percentage with it.
Right. It's like 50% of people, and it's a high percentage. It's a high enough percentage for me. I'm more fearful of the vaccine than I am of COVID itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I really take care of myself, and that's what I'm saying. I'm authentic in that, and that's what people don't realize. Like, I authentically take care of myself. Like, there's people that say they eat healthy. I was one of those people. I was people. But and there's people that truly are authentic to that, and
Yeah.
I am, and I have been since January. Like, I love the way I feel.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one.
Just so sharp.
Oh, your confidence is through the roof. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, and your ideas, like, you just have constant ideas
Mm-hmm.
of things that you want to do, and how you can do something better. And it's just, man, when you're vibing this level, everything just, it's crazy. It just falls right into line where it needs to be.
Right. Yeah. Because there's just no resistance. Like, you just learn. I mean, it's just so little. You just learn to just power through everything.
Right.
It's just like, whatever you need to do. All right, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, I got this. Let's go.
Boom. Yeah. You get super fucking efficient, man.
It's
Super
insane.
efficient. Yeah, I really enjoy reading, and then I mean, but it's for me anyway. It's one of the easiest things for me to put to the wayside. Like,
Yes.
and just like do it every few days or
Right.
something like that.
And I'm like, no,
Every
I gotta
day.
do better. I gotta do better.
Yeah, but whenever I do it every day, just even if it's just the 10 pages every day, it's just like, man, I just feel so much better about myself.
Yes, you just feel like you like progressed.
Yeah, it's just a slow build, and then boom, like nothing can fucking stop you. Yeah, so you've been on rocket fuel since I've met you.
Yeah, it's
You
insane.
said that's a fucking understatement.
Yeah.
So I was looking through your social, and I saw you've been getting in water.
Yeah, I started swimming. So
That is
I
so
needed
cool.
something better on my shoulders.
Yeah.
For 75 hard. I was like, I gotta make this work. So I had to get creative, and I started swimming, and it was my first time getting in the pool by myself, no flotation device, like, since being paralyzed.
Like,
And
what's
then
going through your head when you're
I
doing
was
it?
terrified. I'm like, I'm gonna drown. I'm gonna drown. I wasn't a good swimmer before I was paralyzed. Definitely not a good swimmer now. But
Yeah.
it's crazy because by the end of 75 hard, I was only able to do backstroke in the beginning. I was too scared. I couldn't hold my head up out of the water
Uh-huh.
because I didn't have like enough strength to paddle and do it all. And by the end of 75 hard, I was able to swim on my stomach.
That is so rad.
Yeah, it's so
Man,
sick.
I just the idea like that you're getting in water and then I mean to think that, do your legs float?
Yeah, yeah.
Do they?
Unless it depends if there's air. Like so if I take a big breath in
Okay.
and like hold my breath,
Yeah.
then we all float. But if I don't, then we all sink. Like there's
Ah.
just they float with my upper body, I guess.
Okay. I'm not I'm not very buoyant. I don't fucking float. I really don't. Like whenever I was a kid I used to be able to float and then now I just sink. So just the idea of like if I couldn't if I
Stand.
yeah, like well not even stand, like just if I couldn't like what's the fucking word? Tread. If I couldn't tread,
Yeah.
like or kick my legs to tread, I would feel like I would just sink to the bottom. I would just fucking sink. So I can only imagine the fucking fear that was going through your head when you started getting in the water. But
Well, when I water skied, we were at a training camp
yeah,
and the ski flipped over and my hips were too wide for the ski and I couldn't get myself out.
yeah.
So I was upside down in the water and I literally thought to myself, all right, this is where I'm dying. Because like it was that I was ready. It was insane. I'm terrified of the water. And then the
Oh my
woman
god.
the woman came and flipped me back up. I was probably only under there like 4 or 5 seconds, but I literally had enough time to be like, all right, I'm dying. Like
The,
bye.
the thoughts happen fast though.
Yeah, I couldn't
The
get out. I'm
thoughts
like,
happen.
I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's just like you just gotta learn to just like stay calm in those moments.
Yeah, and I didn't have that back then. That was like,
Yeah,
that was a year into my injury or something like
yeah,
that.
pretty early.
Yeah.
Man, so you've just post injury, you just got back to just like trying to do pretty much like everything that you were
Yo.
doing before.
So the week I got out of the hospital, um, I used to race off road, like four-wheelers in the woods,
Okay.
in a series called GNCC. So I went to this GNCC and they had side-by-side races, like the two-seater
Mhm.
roll cage things.
Okay.
And this this guy that Dan McConaughey that we've been friends with for years, always raced with when I raced ATVs. He's like, "You want to ride passenger?" I'm literally a week out of rehab. I'm like, "Let's go."
Oh my
And
goodness.
so I get in this side by
Holy
side.
shit. You are like
I was like, "Let's go!" But then it was so sick because Polaris jumped on board. John Pellin of ATV Scene, he got going and got me a sponsorship to race, and I got to race in a single seat side by side for like the first 3 years I was paralyzed. It was sick.
that is so cool.
Yo, I lived it. It's seriously so fun, and you're just like ripping through the woods in this thing. Got hand controls, like
Oh my
oh, it was
goodness.
so much fun, and it
Cool.
just I think that because I went right back to racing,
Mhm.
I just had that it was normal. And
Yeah.
it helped me adjust so much quicker, I believe.
Yeah, you just got right back into normalcy as fast as possible.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably a good move.
Yeah.
Is that like
That's
just
what, yeah, yo, my second week out, or my second time in rehab, I don't recommend this for anybody, but I would sneak out my dad come pick me up on Sundays, and I'd sneak out and go to driver's ed. So that way, this time when I got out of the hospital, so let me back up. When I got out of the rehab hospital, I went home, and I was home for a week. And I got an infection in my intestines called C. diff. And like, yo, it's the worst thing ever. It kills people. Like, it's a gnarly infection. The smell of it is ridiculous. It's like you just poop nonstop, and it's just the worst smell you've ever smelled.
they just treat it with antibiotics?
Yo, so I had to go back in the hospital.
Mm.
I had to get IV antibiotics, flagyl, and so I was in the hospital for a week, and then I got put back into rehab. Well, I had been home for a week. I knew what I needed. I needed a damn car. I needed to be able to live. Like, I need to be able. I couldn't stay in that house. I was like, I gotta get out of
He's like,
here.
I gotta be mobile.
I gotta be on the road. Yeah. So I was like, I figured I contacted this guy. His name was Chet Diamond. He's a driving instructor. Yo, I loved him. He had pinky rings, and he wore this like track jumpsuit. Chet Diamond. I'll never forget his name because it just went with his whole getup. But I found his driving school for adaptive driving, and my dad picked me up on Sundays. I told my nurse, I was like, yo, I gotta go. You can give me my supplies or I can go without them, but I'm going. Like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd leave on Sundays and go driving around. Well, one Sunday, I had to go pee. And I'm in the bathroom. I got my pants down, get on the toilet, a cat, do everything I have to do. But then I get back off and I can't get my pants back up. Well, Chet had another woman go into the bathroom to check on me because he's like, oh shit, this girl done fell off the toilet or something, like, you know?
Yeah.
And so this woman comes in, she's like, Jesse, you okay? I'm like, yeah, could you help me pull my pants up? So I had a stranger help me pull my pants up because I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, fuck, how do I do this? Like, in the chair. I don't know what I'm doing because it was my first time out alone. I'm not even discharged from rehab. Like,
Yeah. It's just all brand new at that point.
yo, yeah. And so I just snuck out every Sunday, had driver's ed.
So,
And,
well, good looking out by him.
yo, Chet was the man.
Yeah.
And so I got my hand controls because you had to have driver's ed done before you get hand controls.
Okay.
So I had my hand controls installed like 2 weeks after I was out of the hospital.
So how do those work?
Yo, they're so simple. It's like mine are simple. So they connect to the pedals, but you could still use the pedals if you drove my car. And then it's a little bar that comes up and it's fixed, and you push down on it, like down, straight down to go,
Okay.
and then you push in on it to stop.
Oh, so down to go and to stop.
Yeah, but Ebony, that's my car. She's luxury, okay? She's plush. Let me tell you, she got adaptive cruise control. She got steering assist. She got the windshield wipers that go on by themselves.
Ooh, all the
like,
bells and whistles.
Yo, my car got totaled in February, and this literally, I upgraded.
You have a reason.
I love my car so much. Seriously, like, this is my first road trip in it, and I literally, the whole drive, I'm like, man, I love you so much, car. Like, it's just such a nice car, and
Yeah.
I feel so grateful that I even could, get it. And I'm like, wow. So, and from something bad, like, I didn't want to total my car, honestly.
Right.
The thing was paid off. But
Nobody wants a fucking car payment.
right, no. And so I'm like, well, crap. And obviously I didn't want to do that, but at the same time, something good came out of it.
Yeah, I mean, at least you had a reason to upgrade. You just do it.
I love that car so much. The bright lights. You turn the bright lights on, someone's coming towards you, or you go below 20 miles an hour, they shut off. How nice is that? Like, you don't have to keep clicking on.
Super nice. Oh man, you can just roll and just you'll always be able to see.
Yo, yeah,
And
it's
you
so
don't,
sick.
you don't got to be an asshole.
Yeah, no, and other people, like, they'll be able to see,
Yes. Oh my goodness. Cars are so smart.
It's crazy.
Cars are so smart.
It's insane.
I kind of want a Tesla so it can drive me.
Yo, I watched a podcast. I think it was the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
That man is scary smart.
Super genius.
Scary smart. I'm
Yeah.
like, you are terrifying.
I'm glad he
smart.
exists though.
Yo, it's crazy.
Yeah. What did he name his recent kid? Like it was like some like math symbol or
Stop.
something really nerdy weird shit. And then, like that'd probably be the only downside of that person. It's like you're putting out people and now you're like naming them symbols. But other than that, he's doing some cool ass shit in the world.
He really is.
I love the fact that I think he gave away all the patents or something, like all the information for Tesla, right? I think he open sourced it.
Really?
Yeah, for free.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he did that. So it's like he's just all about like the betterment of the human society. Like we need people like that for sure. He's very unique.
Yo, I think that just imagine if more people. So like today at the CrossFit gym, there was trash in the parking lot, right? And it was like 3 pieces of the trash. You know what I did? I picked it up and I threw it away. And like if I'm out like on a greenway and I see trash, I pick it up and throw it in the next trash can. Because it's like we got to do our part. That little bit, that's a little bit less trash on the ground.
Yeah.
Like if we all as a humanity pitched in and did our part here and there, like
That's true.
the world would be such a better place.
Yeah, it would change exponentially if
Yes.
everybody just did a little bit.
Absolutely it would.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, how do we get to that place? That'd be a great place to be, for sure. Do you, I always hate when people, like, don't take the cart back at the grocery store.
Yes, I push it back. I hope people feel like shit when they see my ass, like,
Yeah.
push it.
Get multiple carts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a pet peeve of mine. Yeah, that and trash for sure.
They leave it in the accessible aisle
Yeah.
of the accessible spaces, parking spaces. So they'll just, like, leave the cart there. And if someone has a van and a cart's there, they can't get their ramp out.
Yeah.
Shoot, if the cart's there, I can't open my door wide enough to get my chair out. And
Yeah.
it's like...
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that like those spaces are like there for a reason.
They don't know. So what really needs to happen is when the doctor or whoever says that this person can have an accessible placard, they need to have like an instruction on how to park there. Like you need to park in the lines because we need the space to get our wheelchair out. Like
Right.
there's more purpose to this space
Right.
than just to like what else would it be there for? I just don't. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Was it? I was thinking about like when you're coming over, it like it made me realize I'm like, holy shit, like my house isn't like wheelchair like accessible. And how much of the world is
oh,
like because you don't think about things,
until you're in the situation.
right? It's like it's so weird how we do that as humans. It's like nothing, like things can't happen to you until they do, no matter what it is,
Right.
for whatever reason. And then now you're in it, and then it just opens up. It's like, holy shit, the world is way different than I thought it was.
It makes something funny. It made me realize anytime I notice houses with wheelchair ramps.
Yeah.
I'm like, and if I have an able-bodied friend in the car with me, I'm like, look, the house is accessible, and they don't get it. But if I have a wheel friend in the car with me, I'm like, look, the house is accessible. They're like, dang, that's a nice house. Like,
It like changes
it's
houses.
a whole different, yeah, it's a whole different perspective because it's like, wow, there's a ramp there, and we get there. So like my best friend Jamie, she bought a ramp for her house for whenever they bought their new house.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so like she made sure I had a way to get in.
Yeah.
And she just above and beyond. And like that's the kind of people we need in our life. It's
Yeah.
like people that will go just as far for you as you would for them.
100%. Yeah. It's just that support group again.
Yes.
Yeah. How important is your support group to just everything you're doing?
Dude, it's so important. Like Jamie, they just moved back home, so they live back in Massachusetts now or in New Hampshire, and like she's like a 13-hour drive away, man. That's my best friend. That's the only people during the pandemic. I'd go there once a week and we'd have dinner together. Like that's the only people I made time for in my week. And now I just don't make time for it anymore. We FaceTime, but it's just
Yeah.
like,
Now you get more time for yourself.
yeah, it's just like, but that was my person. Like we did
Right.
75 hard together. We talk almost every day. Like
Yeah.
that's just my person. And
Yeah.
it just is so hard when your support network, it's just not the same virtually, It's like it's hard
Right.
when they're not there. Like
Yeah.
I don't just drive my 45 minutes and then go hang out for a couple hours.
There's just something about just physically being around people. Like
We need it.
we need it.
We so need
We
it.
need each other.
We need human interaction, and we need to see people smile.
Yes.
Like
Oh
that,
my God.
yeah, see a smile,
Oh,
share
yes.
a smile. Like, I'm telling you, if you smile at someone, I do it in the car all the time, especially for my passenger. I'll look at somebody and I'm like, big cheese and grin. Because
Yeah.
it's like, and then they smile back, and
Yeah.
I made that person smile. And you
That's
don't
so
know what
true.
kind of day they were having.
Yeah, you're right.
And they found a reason to smile. Like, you could just literally brighten someone's day. Just be a better person. It's not that damn hard.
It isn't. It really, really isn't. Just like, oh my God. So I took my kids to the dentist the other day, and I forgot my mask in the car, and I get in there. I'm like, oh God, man, I forgot my mask, and they're like, oh, no worries, we'll just give you one. So like I'm sitting there waiting for them to give me a mask. They never did. The entire time, like I'm at this dentist office, everybody else around me had a mask. They never made me put a mask on, and but everybody was like super nice and like didn't make me feel weird. I felt weird, like not
Yeah,
having.
that's crazy, though. Think about that.
I know. I didn't like. I don't like the fact that I felt
I
weird.
don't like that
I don't like
either.
the fact that I felt weird, right? But I did like the fact that they didn't like make me put on a mask. And they didn't make me feel weird about it. But it was just like such a friendly environment.
We have to stop wearing it. More,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I-
I was smiling at everybody in there.
Yeah,
the
that's what
point.
I do.
That's what I was
That's-
thinking about. I'm just like, I don't have a mask on. I'm like, I'm just so happy just right now.
I'm just gonna smile.
I'm like, nice to meet you. I can't see your face, but
That's what I do in the grocery store. I literally just smile at everybody.
yeah.
I took an American Airlines flight the other week, and I didn't wear a mask through the airport. I didn't wear a mask on the plane. Talked to the flight attendants. They never asked me to put it on. Never
Oh,
asked to see
nice.
anything. I
Nice.
flew the entire flight with no mask on.
Did you
And
feel weird at all about it?
I did. Like the guy sitting next to me, I was like worried about him. I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I,
don't cough.
I hate that I feel that way.
Like
Like,
I didn't want to I don't want to make someone else uncomfortable. And that's what the thing, we're so worried about other people's feelings that we're not willing to voice our own opinion.
right. But in return, like, you're willing to be uncomfortable.
Right. I'm going for it. I was like, so my first flight to where, when I went out, I went through the Charlotte airport with no mask, got on the Southwest flight. They shut the cabin door and she's like, I'm gonna need you to put this on. I'm like, all right. No argument. Like I'm not
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna.
here to argue with you, whatever. You're
Right.
just doing your job. So again, I went through Little Rock Airport, go through everything the TSA agent asked, and I was like, no, I'm good. Literally, I was like, I don't need to wear it. I'm good. And he's like, all right, have a good
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
And so
it's
like
not going to change
right,
if you don't push back.
unless we push back, exactly. I'm like, I'm good. So then I get on the aisle chair. So I got to transfer when I fly American to this little aisle chair, and they pull you to your seat.
Mm.
Southwest, they don't have assigned seating, so I just get the first one I can roll in my chair.
Yeah.
And so they get me in that little seat, put me on the plane, everything. No one ever asked me. I talked to both flight attendants. They were super kind. Like,
Yeah.
we were just kind. I shared a smile. They smiled under their mask.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I wonder how many people wear it at this point just out of like the formality of,
I think the habit.
yeah. It's just like this is just what we do now. We just wear masks.
My mom, I love her, but she's like, I'm gonna wear it because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, who, are you getting in trouble by
By
mom?
who? What the?
Right, just don't wear it. She's like, well, people will stare at me. Like, why the fuck does it matter?
You want to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I see people in the grocery store that when I first see them, they have a mask on. I see them later, they take it off.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, take that shit off. Like, I need to see smiles. I have to. Like, it fuels me as an
Yeah.
individual, and I'm like,
Yes.
I just need to smile to someone and say, hey, you know what? I hope you're having a good day.
Yeah.
And I think the mask creates too much, autonomy. Is it autonomy? Whenever
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that's the word. I think that's the word I'm
I
looking
think that's
for.
the word.
But it creates that like that this person is a complete stranger, and they're not just like a normal stranger. It's like I can't talk to that person.
Yeah.
It's like a barrier,
It really is.
and it needs to go.
Yeah, I think it messes up our brain because I don't know, maybe it was a podcast I was listening to or what, but they're talking about how the brain it's set up like we register faces, right? So
Yes.
we whether we know it's like friendly or not, and if we can't see the face like the full face, like our brain doesn't really quite know how to register, and it's almost like typically if something is partially covered, it's almost like a threat. So it's like your brain is almost like false reading all these threats, and it puts you in like this weird place probably like unconsciously that you're not even aware of. It can't be good for your mental health overall.
I completely agree. I completely agree. What about child development?
Exactly.
That's my thing.
Holy cow.
Where I just met a baby. Yeah, I just met a baby, and she's like, her mom made the comment of, yeah, she's not used to seeing maskless faces. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad to think about, like children being scared of a normal face because they're not used to seeing it.
Right. That is so vital for like development at that age.
Right.
Like to be able to learn faces.
I'm
And,
just curious the long-term effects it will have on this generation that was born in the last year, or
right.
between the ages of 1 and 5, let's say,
Right.
or 0 and 5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I never really, again, just because I don't have any like young kids at that age, I never really thought about that young of development without seeing faces all the time. Like, yeah, that's going to be interesting in the next like couple decades. We're going to have some interesting adults.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Some interesting 30-year-olds, you know what I'm saying?
Holy shit, man. Yeah, my kids are 10 and 12. So it's like they're not that young, but I feel they're going to get older and they're going to definitely like talk about this time. They're going to be
Yeah.
like, do you remember when like we were at
Well, it's
school
like us
and
with
there's
9/11.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like that was a very defining moment. But here's the thing, like 9/11, like that was a very big event. Like for me personally, like I didn't know anybody like in that thing, like in those buildings.
Oh, I guess you're more. I don't know. It didn't matter. It was like
well, I just mean like in the fact like so like my day to day wasn't really like
Affected.
wasn't affected as a kid. So like with kids today, like
Did you not get pulled out of school?
no,
Oh, okay. So it was a bigger deal. Where I grew up in northeastern Ohio, but like we got pulled out of school and everything.
really. I
Yeah.
went to school that day.
Yeah, so same. And like they turned on the TVs at like
Yep,
10
I
and
remember that.
yeah, and then next thing I know, our parents are coming to get
Oh
us.
no, we didn't do that. We were there all day. We were there all day, and then like I went home. But I just meant like so that's a big day, right?
Right.
But like for so my kids have been back in school for they were virtual for the first like half of the school year for the most part,
Wow.
right? So imagine going to school every day, and then now you're 100% virtual as a kid, and then now, and then they went to like a blended thing to where it was like they went like 2 days a week and then 2 days virtual. So it is like and then one day, so it's like 4 days of school basically, and then now they go to school every day.
I wonder what kind of education they were getting during that time.
Probably very little
Yeah.
as far as like what they're doing. We were constantly on them, making them do so much extra. I make them read and do so many different things. But like now that they're in school, and even then when they go to school, they do have to wear masks. But they have like a lot of the classrooms have like dividers,
What?
like on the desks, right? So like imagine like sitting at a desk with like a plastic divider, and then now they're like everybody's spaced out, and like that's the reality of like kids in school today. So it's like
Oh
it
my
like the
God.
entire reality is just completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a
Yeah.
very big event, but I just like
It didn't turn into like,
this has changed their entire reality for the whole year.
yeah.
It's like I just can only imagine like so like that's what I think about.
Yo, I don't have kids, so I don't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
Yeah, it doesn't.
you don't
Hey, it doesn't affect
fuck
me.
those kids.
Totally fine. No, those the kids are gonna take care of us in our old age. Shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
know, but it's just like man, the world has just changed
yo,
in some crazy fucking ways.
it's just the whole mentality. It's crazy to feel. I feel like an outlier because I want more from life, or
Yeah,
because I expect more of myself than
yeah.
the status quo. Like, and I feel some type of way sometimes about it. Like I'm the weird one, you know?
Yeah, well, we're all weird, but but you kind of are an outlier if you think about it. And I
Yeah.
mean, because the status quo is just kind of,
But why? Why is it that way? Life is. I've been there, and there's a thing like I've been there. I get
yeah,
it. I get it. It's the easy path.
yeah,
But I'm like, damn, man. There's just so much more on this side.
right, yeah. I mean, it's like when you know how awesome things could be, you
Yo,
just want other people just to know it too.
they have to experience it.
Yeah, yeah, I know, man. Just some people just don't. I know. I wonder what it is that just make people just they're just satisfied with just doing the status
The
quo.
bare minimum.
Yeah, the bare minimum. That's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. Yeah, I don't know what that driver
Like
is.
why? Why? It's just the easy. It's just because they think it's the easy, but in reality, it's like you're gonna have pain either way you
Yeah, you
go.
just gotta pick your hard.
Yeah, well, I think I like the heart of like grinding and be like,
Yeah.
let's go. I told my buddy Richard, I'm going down to Atlanta to go stay with him for a few days, and I planned a wheel meetup in Atlanta. So I host meetups with my nonprofit Wheel with Me Foundation, and the goal is to bring the local community together. It's just so important. So we had a grill and chill in Charlotte last week.
Oh, that's awesome. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, it was so sick. And then we're having a meetup at an art gallery in Atlanta,
Oh,
and
that's rad.
so yeah, it's gonna be sick. I'm so excited. But Richard's like, you didn't tell me about this meetup. I was like, yo, it was like a last minute idea. He's like, I thought you were vacationing. I'm like, it's a vacation. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to not work because I love it.
Yes.
I love all the things I'm doing to grow my brand. Now, do I like my day job? Sometimes. I like the people I work with. I don't necessarily like customer service, but at the same time, like, it allows me to work on the things I want to work on.
Right.
And
Yeah.
those things are moving me closer to where I want to be.
Yeah. It's fueling the dream. It has a
Right.
purpose, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, whenever I started actually like working on my own things, I started like I started like saying this thing that like work is a thing that you get to do, not a place that you have to go. Just because
Yeah.
typically, like you just associate it with like the 9 to 5. Oh, I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. And for some people, I mean, I guess that is their reality. But like I just made this mental shift. It's like all right, it's like I get to do these things. Like I get to have these
I
conversations.
get to, yeah.
I get to edit this. I get to promote this. I get to go travel and do this thing. It's like you get to go, like it's a thing I get to do. Like it's not a place that I just have to go. And that mental shift was definitely like it was a big game changer for sure.
I feel like when you work for yourself, it's easy to be lax on yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but when you work for someone else, it's easy just to bitch about it and like be even more lax on yourself. Well, this is how it has to be. Oh, I'm miserable, but this is how it has to be.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't. It's just crazy. It just doesn't have to be that way. You just have to be willing, like you said, choose your heart. And too many people just go with the norm and are just like whatever. And I guess that's why there's only so many entrepreneurs that make it.
It's not an easy road.
No,
It's not an easy road.
the amount of times you just want to throw everything up and just say fuck it.
Oh my god, it's such a roller coaster. It is such a roller coaster. Just emotions.
All the time. It's literally just like nonstop. And I'm like, yo, chill, emotions, chill. Like, I just, like, there's some days where I'm just so, like, I'm pretty much positive most of the time about my disability, but like, there's around my cycle, I get a lot more pain and I'm not feeling the best, you know? And so I'm like, those days I'm super hard on myself. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. Nah. Just say if I was standing. And like, and I just bitch all day, right? But then I move on from it the next day and it's like back to positivity. All right, let's go. Let's get back in the grind. Let's work
Yeah.
out. Like, and I try not to let those days consume me. And it's sick to see the growth there where those days don't consume me as more. Like, I feel bad. I allow myself like 5 minutes to feel bad. And I'm like, all right, back to it. Let's go. We got
Yeah.
things to do.
Yeah. I think that's important too, right? Like not every day is a good day.
No, it's not.
You know, it's
Yeah, there's
like
days you feel up and you're like, man, I don't want to do any of this shit. But you still have to show up because if you don't show up, then you're going to feel even worse than you already do. And then it's a vicious cycle. Like,
right.
show up, man. Show up for you. It's not
Mhm.
about anyone else. It's about you. And that's what I tell people. And like, half the shit I say, most of the shit I say on my social media is for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like a little reminder, like, hey, Jesse,
Yeah.
pull your head out of your ass.
This
Like,
is
this
the
is why
message
you gotta
that
do
you want
this.
to hear.
Right. And so, like, it's for me, but I'm sharing it with you because I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Like we're in this together.
That's why it
man.
resonates because it's authentic in that way.
Yeah, that's I mean because it's the truth. Like
Right.
that's just it is what it is, and that like people just don't get it. Be you, man. Be you.
It's like in class, it's like if you have the question, probably 5 other people have the question. So it's like if you're feeling it, probably there's a lot of other people who feel that way too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely people can relate in that way.
It's like use your words.
That's so rad. You're just doing so many cool things.
Yeah, life is so
You're
good.
doing the speaking.
Yeah,
You have your non-for-profit.
yeah. That's my favorite thing.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, yeah. I just love I love serving my community and just serving, right? Like,
Yeah.
and just helping people, giving people the confidence to get after their life. I think that's probably one of my favorite things to do. I've been using the First Form app and doing the coaching in there.
Okay. That's cool.
And, I have a wheelchair user who lost like 30 pounds almost. I have another individual. She told me last week how much she's starting to love her body. Like,
Yeah.
yo,
That makes you feel good,
yo,
right?
yes. I'm just like, hell yeah, we're doing it, you guys. We're doing it.
Changing lives,
Yeah,
literally.
and but we're a team in it, and I think that's the
Yes.
most beautiful thing about it is like we have our group calls, and they all have the same struggle, and they're all connecting, and it's just so beautiful to see like we're a team, we're in this
Right.
together.
Right. Yeah, having those people that you can rely on and that like that accountability group, like that it definitely is it'll be the defining moment for a lot of people.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like cuz people can rely on you and you can rely on them, right? And it just makes you so much stronger.
yes, hands down. It's like if you have someone saying, hey, like you don't want to disappoint anyone else, you know,
Right.
that's just the way the human psyche's set up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to disappoint yourself if you're by yourself.
Right.
You're just whatever.
Fuck it. And it's
Yeah.
crazy that we worry more about others than we do our own being. And it's like you can't do anything for anyone else unless you take care of you first.
That's true.
I got really selfish really quick when 75 hard during
Yeah.
that time. You don't have a damn choice. You're like, shit.
That's true. That's very, very true. I always have to strike this balance once because it's like I don't naturally have empathy. Like it's just not me.
No.
Like I just feel like just cut your fucking excuses. Like, you can get it done. Whatever it is you want to do, you can truly do it. Again, just set your mind to it and you can do it. And it's so it's not like a natural thing for me to feel, but whenever I'm like, if like whenever I first get done with 75 hard, I've done it twice, and I'm just like I've almost no empathy at that moment, and it's like I have to strike this balance of like being an asshole. Like, I almost feel like I'm too much of an because I just don't, but it's like, so I try to strike the balance of like having empathy and like just trying to be nice to people and like still be efficient and like just get after it type shit. So it's a weird balance for me, but it's yeah, man, you just feel so fucking good.
Yo, so good.
Yeah, it's just like, save the excuses. Let's just get it done.
Right, and you have no patience for them damn excuses.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally, I just feel like I can conquer anything I set my mind to.
You're
And
right.
it's just, you feel so powerful, and it's just like, why wouldn't you want to feel this way? This is
Yeah.
a damn good feeling. Like,
Right.
when you feel unstoppable, like, there's literally nothing you won't try.
Right.
I'm just,
And you know you know it to be true. Like, this is the truth, and like, this is the way.
right, this is how it is.
Yeah, like, just follow this, and you can get here too. And then you help people do that, and it's just like fucking everybody's just kicking ass.
Yo, and that's what it should be. We should all be kicking ass in whatever we're passionate about.
Yeah.
Hands down, like, let's go. But too many people just won't commit to them. It's
Yeah.
like, commit to yourself, you lunatic.
What do you think's holding people back?
Their fear. Their fear of who they're going to be, of where they're going to go, of not having that comfort, of the unknown. Like, am I going to be able to do this? Their mistrust in themselves because they've let themselves down so much.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, like, there's no way. I know me. Well, recreate your narrative. You know,
Right.
I'm capable of that because I was the same way. I'd start something, never finish it. Like, that's one of the main reasons I was so proud of 75 Hard. Like, I finished that shit. I
It's not
followed through.
That's not an easy thing to finish.
There were some days, yo. Okay, the second to last week, I was on day like 64, 65, and I was speaking for WellSpec, the catheter that I use, and we're in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's 9 p.m. at night. That morning, we started in Jacksonville, Arkansas. So I did my workout at the hotel there, my morning one. It was raining. I was like, I'm gonna beat the rain. Cool. Dumb. 9 p.m. at night, I'm wheeling. The person I was with, he's like, nah, I'm not gonna. I was like, walk with me for like 30 more minutes. We walked home from dinner, so that was the start. It was like 15 minutes. I was like, come on, just walk with me. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to bed. Yo, my ass pushed for 30 minutes in the dark at 9:30 at night
Oh,
in
shit.
Little Rock, downtown Arkansas. Most terrified I've ever
Oh
been.
my
I've never
goodness.
pushed so fast in my life, I don't think.
Fuck.
I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
I was on some other strength that night because I was like, they're going to get me. Like, my biggest fear as a wheelchair user, no lie, is getting either raped and killed or put into the sex trade.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I mean, that's some heavy shit.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm vulnerable as hell, man. And like,
Is that
I mean,
common?
I don't know. I mean, chicks getting snatched. I'm probably too old these days, but it's still a fear, man. I'm still a pretty girl, and if someone's feeling froggy, you know, they could definitely leap. And I'm like,
It's true.
I don't want to be a victim.
The world's a scary fucking. Well, see, the fact that you have that mentality is why you probably won't.
Yo, I pay attention, man.
Yeah.
I'm
keep,
like,
keep the head on the swivel.
I was like, I couldn't skip. I'm like, I'm at day 65. There's no fucking way I'm failing now. No.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
Like, I packed food with me for this trip to make sure I hit my macros. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing. I'm like, when you fail once, especially when you get 34 days in.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, the second, like, I was 34 days in. I'm like, hell yeah, halfway through. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Like, let's keep going. Fuck yeah. Like, you're just starting to feel it. I can only imagine just like my heart would just be so like in my stomach.
It was. I was more upset about not failing 75 hard than wrecking my car. Hands
really?
down. Yes.
Yeah, it's just such a long journey. I had dreams that I failed.
Same.
Did you?
I had dreams that I drank, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I had dreams that I ate Snickers. I was like, fuck. I was not happy. I was not happy.
You wake up and you're so mad. You're like, fuck, how could I do this?
Yeah. I was like, is that real? Did I really do that? Like, oh no, it's not. It was just a dream. It was just a dream.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Because you just don't want to fail it. I mean, you just put so much work into it.
And you just, like, I feel like you just dedicate so much time to you.
Yeah.
Like, that was the most beautiful thing. I'm like, I gotta dedicate this much time to me more often. Like,
Yeah.
this is how to do it.
Right. Yeah. I pretty much just do it the same time every year. I usually start it like immediately after the 4th of July and just,
Really?
yeah.
What
I've
a,
done it for the last 2 years.
why do you start at that time?
I don't, so previously it's because I was drinking and now I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna like, the 4th of July has just always been like a thing for me, like just a thing. We always just like drink and barbecue and just have a good time. And so I was like, all right, well, I want to do that. But usually by that time, I've drank so much during the summer. Like the first year, anyway, I did this. I was drinking and I had drank so much. And then, like, I get so swollen. Like, just my body's swollen, just all this inflammation. I just feel like shit.
Mm.
And like I know how good I feel whenever I'm on it, just from like fighting and training for so many years. So I was like, man, like let me do this program. Like I already tried to do it a few times before, but like unsuccessfully because like I would do it for like a day and then I'd fail because I wasn't ever really serious. But I was like, man, like, I just want to fucking feel good, and like I knew just logically doing everything with 75 hard would put me like where I need to be.
Exactly.
So I fucking did it the one year, and I was like, oh fuck, this is amazing. And then and I was like, all right, well, fuck, I drank for the 4th of July, and this was last year, and I was like, well, I want to fucking. I just need to get back on it because I felt myself slipping. Like I wasn't too far off, but like I wasn't as good as I was whenever I did 75 hard the year before. So I did it again, but I decided that like I'm not gonna drink anymore. So I haven't drank since the last 4th of July. So I'm coming up on a
Wow.
year. Like I probably just won't drink anymore.
Yeah.
It's something I've always wrestled with because, and I still do actually, because I still might because like socially,
It's
like
accepted. That's what pisses me off is like alcohol is socially
yes, it
accepted
is.
and it's something that you do. It's okay to do with your friends,
Right.
But it's like it's
Yeah.
so bad. It makes you feel like shit. It's like
I
I,
never
I
feel
can't
good
get out
after
of
I
bed
do
the
it.
next day.
Yeah. I always feel so. That's the thing. Like same with diet. Like I when I don't do it, I feel so good, and then I do it once, and I immediately feel like my joints hurt, my hands hurt, my elbows hurt. Like I just feel swollen, and I just there's no real benefit to drinking, but it is like the social thing to do. It's like oh, so it's and then I was like ah fuck man, like maybe I just drink like every once in a while, but at the where I stand right now, like I'm just probably not gonna drink anymore.
Don't do it.
Yeah, so like
I support
yeah,
it.
like I'm coming up on a year of like not drinking. So
That's
so
huge.
now it's just like I just figured like yeah, I'll just kind of do it around that time, just kind of like every year, just like as like a ritual, just to like reset and just stay on my shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I support that. I
So
support all of it, not drinking, all of it. Well, just because, like, man, alcohol really, you watch it destroy people. Like,
it's it, it's not good.
no,
It's not good
no,
at all.
at all. I agree. I agree. People use it to escape their reality, and that's probably the saddest thing. The way it could be used, I believe. Like, they just use it because they're just not happy.
Some people do.
It's
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not against like I feel like humans in general want to alter consciousness just for whether it's you want to get your daily coffee because you like to like it's as a pick me up
Right.
or you know if people like to smoke cannabis or psychedelics or you can't keep drugs out of prison
Right.
like one way or another people usually find a way to like alter their consciousness in some way. Some are accepted, some aren't for whatever reason, but like it's just I feel like it's just part of like the human experience. So it's like I feel like some people want to enjoy it, so I don't want to like tell you like not to do it. Like you live your life, do your
I know. Do
existence.
you? But I'm
Yeah, do your
good.
existence. But yeah, it's like there are a lot of ways to alter your consciousness that just don't make you feel like shit.
Right. That's what I'm
You know what
saying.
I'm
Like,
saying?
if you wanna if you wanna like get away from your reality, we got natural ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to drink yourself into oblivion.
Yeah.
And it's just sad because you see your loved one turn into this person that you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. When it gets out of hand, there's just there's just no real upside, like to drinking excessive amounts of alcohol. Like when I feel like when somebody's stuck in that negative loop and they're seeking like refuge in like a substance like that, it's there's usually some sort of trauma to it.
Right.
Yeah,
They need to just go ahead and address that
you
shit.
got to address like the actual issue, right? Like that's probably like most people's shit. Like you got to address the issue.
Right.
Yeah. I think 75 hard kind of helped me with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, you can't lie about your shit.
You come
You got
out
to get
you
done. You got to get it done.
you come out a different person. I
Yeah.
don't know. And like the amount of honesty that it creates in you too. It's like, all right, I gotta be like
Yeah.
nothing but the truth here.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And then that's what fucking got you here. Like that's what brought you to like St. Louis when with fucking First Form brought you in.
In September,
Yeah, in
yeah.
September, right? Like, and then shout out to Rob Acosta for like
Yeah. Oh,
connecting us,
Rob.
right? Like, it's just amazing, like the decision you make, and then like the path it can set you on.
Right. It's like it just one. So there's a charity event at home called Beers and Burpees. It's a charity CrossFit event, and I was registered for that. But then I really won the trip to HQ, and I was like, "Yo, this is an opportunity lifestyle." Because I listened to Andy's podcast, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is some real shit." Like
Yeah.
during the pandemic, I had nothing else to do, listen to podcasts, and so I was like, "Damn!" And then I didn't. I like put two and two together that he's the dude with First Form. Like I didn't realize it. And then I
Mm-hmm.
met him and I was like, yo, your podcast like
Yeah.
just changed my life, man. Thank you. Like, and it was just cool to have that opportunity. And like, had I not done that, I wouldn't have been connected with you. I wouldn't have been connected with Rob.
Yeah.
The other people that won, Jenna, like I talk to her almost weekly,
That's so cool.
it's the relationships it builds. And then it encouraged Tyler, the kid that I'm here for, to reach out to me and be like, hey, how do I do a Tough Mudder? And I'm like, well, I got the gear. I can come on out.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like all these connections came from this one experience. You,
Right.
like, you just have to be willing to let them in and
Right.
embrace the abundance.
Just be open to experience.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
There's abundance of experiences. I think people put too much limitation on everything life has to offer.
They really do. It's just that difference between a growth mindset and having that what's the other fucking what's the opposite?
Pessimistic.
Um
I don't know what the opposite is
I
because
don't
I'm
know.
only on the growth shit.
Yeah, fuck it. Fuck the other mindset. I don't know.
I don't even know.
I can't even think of the other name, so who gives a shit?
Oh my God.
It'll come to me later. But either way, it's the opposite, right? Like scarcity mindset.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So there's an abundance, right? You just gotta fucking tap into it.
There's enough to go around for everyone.
Yes.
And I think just more people need to embrace that. Like, encourage your peers, man.
Yes.
Let's lift one another up. Like, I had that rant on Instagram, and this other wheelchair user who has a wheelchair dance team called the Rollettes, that she's out of California. Her name's Chelsea Hill. She sends me a message, and she's like, yes, bitch, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And she's just, like, so hype. And I'm like, that's what we need to do. Like, we need to
Yes.
lift one another up. And like to hype each other up,
Yeah.
just support each other. Just because my opinion doesn't agree with your opinion doesn't mean that we can't still support each other. Like
Right.
I have plenty of people that I disagree with on a political matter, but I still love them. Like
Right.
it doesn't change our friendship. It doesn't change that we support each other, lift each other up,
Right.
encourage each other.
Yeah. Since when do we all have to think the same?
Right. And that's the issue. I don't know where this came from, but this gotta go somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
done with it.
Yeah. I'm not about that. Like, yeah, diversity in thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're allowed. That's how we grow and develop more thoughts.
Right.
Like,
That's like the catch-22 of social media. Like if you use it correctly, you can connect with some really fucking awesome people, but it can also become just an echo chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just confirmation bias.
Well, I told my buddy Richard when he called me yesterday, I was like, man, I follow things I don't agree with. Like I
Yeah.
follow the hashtag Democrat. I follow the hashtag ableism. Fucking hate that word. I hate it. It's like a crutch that community uses, and I'm just over it. But like,
what does it mean?
so
Fill me in. Ableism?
realistically, it's like society's perception of disability, right? Like that we can't do it, or they have that certain perception, and then it ends up we're not accessible. But people are using it in like other contexts, and they're using it to attack people. So like I got called ableist because I made a post saying that we're not entitled to government benefits, and it pissed a lot of people off.
Oh.
And they start name calling with it, and I'm like, that is not the proper way. Like, you know what's ableist? Hollywood hiring able-bodied actors play disabled people when there are plenty of trained disabled actors out there.
Yes.
Like that's ableist. But
Yeah, that's a real example.
Right, me posting about how we're not entitled to government benefits and like we need to be able to get off of them and live a full life. Like I understand there's certain situations, and like what if the government had a program? Like
Yeah.
let's ask for a solution. Give us a program to get off your damn benefits
Right.
rather than keeping us trapped. Oh
Yes.
wait, that goes against their agenda. Oh my gosh, don't get me started there.
Yeah. Oh shit. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's like a real word. And
Okay.
it's just I follow the hashtag because I like to read the posts and
Right.
like just confirm that I'm still where I need to be. Like, but you
Yeah.
need to know what other people are thinking.
Right.
And like there's some things I agree with. Like I shared one that I agreed with that hashtag. I
Right.
was like, whoa, finally an ableist post I agree with.
Well, I mean, it helps to have all the perspectives, right? I mean,
Right.
it's like, well, I mean, if you only have one side, then how can you really form a thorough opinion? You know,
Right.
how do you really know what you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, if you're just forming an opinion off of what other people told you to do, if you don't look at the other side or listen to it,
Right.
like you don't have to agree with everything other people have to say, but like you need to at least listen.
Right. Yeah. I like to consume pretty much all content.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll process it. I'm like, if I don't agree with something, I sit there and have to ask myself, like, why don't I agree with this? Like,
Right.
why am I feeling so
Yes.
much resistance? I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a lot of resistance to what you're saying right now. Like, why am I feeling this way? Is it valid? I just try to do that, but it's like, sometimes it's hard.
It's like, why is this hitting me like this?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know
It's
what
like,
you're
am I fucked
saying.
up?
No. And you question yourself because it seems like because they're so loud, it seems like there's so many of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's the minority that's the loudest.
Right.
It's
I'm like, can you stop?
yes, please. I'm like, damn, just let us live.
Right. I
Dang.
just want to live each day. Like, stop. I'm just so sick of the labels. Like, it's like, stop labeling people ableist. Like, just let them be. Not everybody's gonna understand. I didn't know what the hell it meant. I didn't think disabled people could live a life. I worked for an orthodontist before I was paralyzed, and we had a patient who had a spinal cord injury. Sometimes he'd come in on his crutches. Sometimes he'd come in on his wheelchair. I was like, damn, his life must suck. Literally thought that to myself. And then I get paralyzed. Guess who's the first family I reach out to?
Oh shit.
Like,
Yeah.
and they know, and I knew them on a personal level, and it was like his life was full. He played basketball, he traveled, he goes to school, he just learned to drive. Like, and it's like
Right.
they gave me confidence that there was so much that I could do from this chair, and it's like
Right.
it's up to us to break that stigma. That's what these people have been raised to believe, or they automatically believe because we're not the norm.
Right.
But we can still live a full life. We just we gotta work a little hard to show people that until it's normalized.
Right. Yeah. You can still very much live a very full and active life.
Exactly. I didn't know that either. And again, I had the stigma.
Yeah.
Like I let myself get overweight. I ate like shit. I partied every night. I drank almost every day. Like
Yeah.
and my body took a toll on it. And now that I have everything under control, as far as how much I'm taking in, how much water I consume, all the activity, like I feel better than I ever have, even
Yes.
pre-paralysis.
Yeah. Again, it's just the stories we tell ourselves.
Right. And we justify it so much.
Yeah.
Stop justifying it to yourself.
Just cut the bullshit out.
Be like, look, bitch, get your shit together. That's literally what I tell myself. I'm like, all right, listen, bitch. Because bitch is an endearing term to me. I'm like, all my bitches.
When used properly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm like, look, bitch, it's time for you to get your shit together and be that bitch. Like, let's go. And I give myself pep talks all the time because I'm like, oh, you gotta get it together. That's what I do that all the time. That's my go-to. Okay,
Let's do it.
all right, it's time. This is so my go-to. I'm like always dancing, always just like, let's go, because it's up to us to be that initiative because no one else gives a shit if you succeed or not. No one cares.
Not at all.
No. The only person that cares is you.
That's
But
it.
you're just out here seeking approval from everyone else. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck
do
critics.
do your own thing, man, and live the life that you want to live for you.
100%.
Don't let other people control it. That's what pisses me off. I'm like, stop letting other people control your life. Come on.
Yeah.
Come to the dark side.
Just take fucking ownership.
I read the Jocko Willink book.
Yeah. Extreme ownership.
Yeah, that was
Got that up there.
a solid.
It's a good read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read 8 books during 75
Oh,
hours.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the best one was Lou Holtz. I can't remember what it was called, but he was a Notre Dame college football coach.
Okay.
And it was just Oh, really? I
I
finished it in a
bet.
week. It was a solid read.
Is he the coach like whenever they're just like their dynasty years?
Yeah,
They're
from like 93 on
just
or something.
crushing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good one. I'll have to check
Read
that
it.
out.
Read it. It's so good.
You say Lou Holtz?
Lou Holtz.
Holtz.
Louholtz.
Holtz. Okay, cool.
So good.
Lou Holtz. I'll check it out.
Have to.
All right.
Like,
I'm always just trying to find books to add to the list.
I want to
Always.
reread it because it was again. I finished it in a week and it was like that thick, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I just couldn't put it down. It was like 2 chapters at a time. I couldn't stop reading. I had
Oh,
to stop myself from
nice.
reading.
Yes. Yeah. There's definitely been a handful of books that it's just so hard.
Just like,
Yeah. One of my favorite books of all time is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, who made Nike. It's about Nike and how he
okay,
made Nike. He's a really good storyteller. He just told the story just really really well, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
I'm at
Just one of my favorite books, hands down. Shoe Dog.
my favorite book of all time is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He was
Oh, great book.
yeah.
Got that.
That is my all time for sure. I love the way he tells the story.
Holy shit.
Like the way that he goes into how missions were botched
Yes.
and there's just like just so much learn. I have it on audiobook and no lie, I listen to it at least 2 to 3 times a
I
year.
also have it on audiobook too. I first got it on audiobook and I'm like
I
this
need to get the printed version.
I'm like, this book is just so good. I was like, this information is so valuable. Like, so I bought it, and I'm gonna do this thing with my son. So he's about to turn 13 in July, and so in a few years he's probably gonna want a car. So I'm gonna pay him $50 to read a book, but I have to choose the book. So like, I'm gonna give him certain books like Shoe Dog here, or like Never Split the Difference, just like the books that I wish I would have read whenever I was really young, and then
Yes.
he can like put it in and start saving towards a car. So I try to buy certain books that I for sure want him to read.
Never Split the Difference is definitely
Oh, it's
like the
clutch.
Lou Holtz book too. The Lou Holtz book too is like I said, it's a good one. And then there was another one by another football coach, Darren Donnelly was his name.
Darren Donnelly.
Yeah, and it was like something about warrior, but it was so good. Think Like a Warrior. That one was
Okay.
good too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'll
I
check
don't
it
know.
out.
I didn't like. I'm not into football or anything, but the way they tell the story and
You just
just
like the
makes
mentality.
yeah. And I think both of them are kind of just faith driven, like how
Mm.
much your faith interacts with your own life, whatever you like. The Lily Holtz one's really good about whatever you believe in,
Okay.
and it just like that's something that really resonates with me. Like it's just because I've given my life to God. I'm like, show me what you need me to do.
Oh, you know, it'd be a good book. Here, I want to give you this book. It's called The Warrior's Faith. It's about a Navy SEAL. His name is Ryan Job, and he was shot in the face in Iraq, and he was blinded, and then he ended up going on to like climbing mountains, and I think maybe he ran a marathon, and did a whole bunch of really cool shit. He's blind.
Wow.
He was a Navy SEAL. It's a really good book. It's right up the alley what you're talking about though.
Yeah.
And the author kind of throughout the books kind of like draws like parallels between him and like the Book of Job, just because like all the adversity and still having faith and still pushing forward and stuff. So it was pretty cool, and it was just happened coincidentally. His last name was also Job.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really good book. You can have it.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. That's like, because again, that's something that resonates with me. Like, yo, even when it's, I go outside right now when it's warm, I love warm weather and the sunshine. When the sun hits your skin and you just feel, you feel it. It's
Yeah.
good. And I literally, every time I go outside and the sun hits my skin, I just start crying because I'm just so grateful for the sunshine. Like, my gratitude is so big that I break out in tears because
You're
I'm
on
just
it.
like overwhelmed with gratitude. And I feel very fortunate.
That'll change
Like,
your life.
it's crazy.
Like having a gratitude practice.
Yo, I'm just so,
I do that.
it's so crazy how
Yeah.
you feel so good all the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I like just recently, like my car that I have out there, like isn't like I drive that SUV. Like it's not brand new, but it's like it's newer, and I bought it cash, so I don't like owe anything on it.
Right.
But it's way nicer than the car I had before then. So like anytime I'm in that car, I'm just like, oh my god, this is just like so much nicer than my last
It's
car.
like me with
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like, man, I just don't want to like take advantage of, like, I don't want to take it for granted. Like, I just, every
Right.
time I'm driving, like, yes, this is just way better than my last
That's
car.
like I try to be so careful getting my chair in and out, and there's like the inevitable dings on the door frame,
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not to my car. It's like this big theatrical thing. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, but just that daily practice.
It is. You just we don't realize how much we truly have to be grateful for. Like I'm
Right.
grateful that I could just get stronger, that I have fitness equipment, that I have access to a gym,
Yeah.
like that I have found the first form app in my Transformers. My Transformers fill my soul, man. I didn't know how much something could really like I didn't understand, oh, you'll find your purpose when you find it. Like between Wheel With Me Foundation and then the My Transformation app and doing the Transformers, like those two things gave me confirmation of I'm doing what I'm supposed to be
You're on
doing.
your path.
Yeah, because it just the feeling, man. I needed the confirmation by the my transformation stuff. I knew, I second guessed it with Will being like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is this true? Like, am I really feeling this? And then just helping people achieve their fitness goals, both able-bodied, disabled, and then seeing them come together and just seeing each other as peers, fitness peers, rather than
Yeah.
like what their physical ability was.
Well, your
Is
positivity is like, it's contagious. Yeah, like it just, like, you come in here smiling, like, it makes me smile. It's like,
like, yeah.
yeah, fuck, it's just your personality is just so fun.
It's just we just have to make the best of each day, and I think
Yeah.
too many people don't realize that and don't lead with that. And I'm like, would I ever choose to be a paraplegic? Absolutely not. No, I miss having control of my bladder more than anything in this world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's given me so much that I would never undo it. And it's like, regardless of if I'm walking or I'm paralyzed, I would have shitty days. I would
Right.
have shitty moments. That in that moment, it felt just as bad as being a paraplegic. So why not just, address those shitty days and then move on from them and embrace the life that you've been given?
Right.
And so that's what I do. I just I embrace this. When I was water skiing, I also, my foot got caught up somehow and I kind of messed it up and I had to go to the hospital. So I got x-rayed and when I was in the emergency room, because if I have to go to the hospital, I only go to the main hospital, the trauma center where I went when I was paralyzed, because small hospitals never know how to deal with you. They're like, what? When spinal cord injury? What's that? I don't know how to deal with what? It's like,
There's loss.
okay, it's literally like fire. Like they're like, what do I do? What does this mean? So I always go to the trauma center, and I go there, and the nurse is checking me in. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, so why are you paralyzed? And I'm like, oh, I was in a motorcycle accident in 2015. And she's like, wait, do you have tattoos of stars up your side? And I was like, yeah, that's me. And she's like, girl, you're a miracle. And to have her say that to me, I was just like, she's like, I was in the room,
Whoa.
I had to get the supplies. I didn't think you were going to make it past the ICU.
Holy
And I'm
shit.
like, it was like, whoom, gravity, how serious it truly was.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't realize how fucked up I was because I was asleep for 4 or 5 days.
Yes.
I was out. I gave my body time to recover, but I guess I was pretty fucked up.
Whoa.
And so, I'm truly, truly, truly lucky to be here. And I have to live each day with that mindset. This is what it is, and I got wheels. And if I get out of the wheels, I get out of the wheels. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, I got these bomb ass wheels that I custom
Yeah, sick
Yo,
ass fucking purple and pink.
pink with these, they're
Dope ass
called,
decals on them.
yeah,
and-
TC push rims. We got the custom graphics that would go on a car.
Ugh.
I designed these Spinergy wheels. They have a design thing on
That's
their
super-
website.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and you can design whatever wheels. They have finance options and everything. So yeah, here, try these push rims. And, here's some wheels. And I'm like, heck yeah,
Hell
thank
yeah,
you.
let's do it. That's
They're
awesome.
sick. Yeah. It's sick. You could trick it out. And I'm like, damn, look at me.
Hey.
This chair gets so much because it has shocks on it. I used to go to the skate park.
Oh wow.
I wasn't good. I face planted a lot. But
Really?
Yeah. Yo, there's a video.
You are intense.
There's a video on the Instagram account. It's girls getting hurt, and she reposted it. It's literally me on a half pipe, and I dropped the wheelie too soon, so I literally just go, boom, straight to my face.
Oh.
Oh, that's the sound I made.
Yeah, probably so. Oh my goodness. Oh man, you're daring as fuck.
Yo, I'm gonna have a good time. I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in it to win it. I got to jump my chair into a foam pit. That was sick. I really
Oh,
wanted to try and flip, but I couldn't get it.
yeah.
I could probably do it now with my core strength improved. I'd be willing to try it.
It's worth a shot.
Hell yeah, let's go. To the foam
Dang.
pit.
To the foam pit. Dang. Well, Jesse, thank you so much. Well, I want to be respectful of your time, and we've been going for quite a while now. This has been such a fun conversation.
Thank you so much for
Oh
having
my
me.
goodness. What's next? Like, what is there anything you want to like plug,
Yo,
promo, like
yeah.
what's coming up?
All right. So I'm going to need you guys, if you have a wheelchair using friend, have them subscribe to the Wheel With Me Foundation newsletter. You can find that at wheelwithmefoundation.org. Just subscribe to it. They'll be notified of when we host. We host empowerment weeks for free for
Okay.
wheelchair users. So our last one was just the other week, and we had at-home workouts, growth mindset, how to become an actor with a disability, and how to become an advocate, wheelchair Zumba, and we had the meetup. And so other wheelchair users donate their time and their expertise for us to,
That's cool.
yeah, it's sick. I love it. We started it in February, and it's been really good. And Kenda gives away a set of tires every single day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we had like manual wheelchair users that won tires every day.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's I'm telling you, dude, I'm just doing God's work, like for real. It's I'm truly blessed. So, if there's any wheelchair users, please sign up for our newsletter. You can find me at Jesi Stracham. That's JesiStracham. And my sister and I are launching a coffee company called Daily Joe Coffee Co. You can find us at Daily Joe. We are not fully launched yet, hopefully this summer. But we just want to be the positive start to your day, your Daily
Yeah,
Joe.
that's awesome. And I'll put like links in the show notes and everything
Absolutely.
to make it easy. And we'll definitely stay on the lookout for whenever you launch the coffee.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm so stoked.
that's going to be so awesome.
Again, I'm just so fortunate to have endless of opportunity. Let's go, man.
Yeah,
Let's
the
go.
possibilities are endless. Oh, dope, awesome. All right, Jesse, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right, everybody, till next time.